I'm about to say something that you're going to think is totally crazy. But separation is actually one of the best opportunities to rebuild attraction in a marriage. And let me explain why. In most cases, both of you were really unhappy for quite some time, but you were both holding on to the hopes that you were going to somehow mend the relationship. It's like you both held on to this notion that there was this buried treasure of your good times when the attraction was strong between the two of you and those happy moments. But the thing is neither of you had a map on where to start digging. Separation is that map to that buried treasure of those good times, those happy moments, because it tells you exactly where the relationship was broken, it tells you the weak points, and it tells you exactly where emotional fulfillment was lacking from both of you. And if you know how to read that map correctly, follow the right path, and use the right shovel, you're actually in a much better position to rebuild attraction in the marriage than you might think. But when most men hear the word separation, they panic. So they can't read the map correctly, and they lose this opportunity because they're so fearful of doing or saying the wrong thing and pushing her further away. They're essentially walking on eggshells, overanalyzing every little thing they do, thinking, will this or won't this save their marriage? So I want to talk about some of the mistakes that I see men making that results in them losing their power and her respect for them, that essentially pushes her further away. And I'm going to show you a couple moves to make instead that are actually very powerful, especially when you might be dealing with limited contact during a separation. And the first mistake that I see a lot of men making is they want to push her for something, some kind of reassurance in some way, even if it results in a negative reaction from her. They don't care because they don't realize how detrimental it is. They feel like some kind of reaction from her, even if it's a negative reaction, is still better than no contact or no reaction. And they'll push for some type of emotional fulfillment from her. So let's say one of the primary ways they receive love is through affectionate contact, and they happen to see her. They might push to try to get that hug from her. Or if they receive love through time and they're having a conversation with her about something, they might start asking irrelevant questions just to get a few more moments of interaction with her. And a lot of times this is happening subconsciously. The guy doesn't even realize he's doing it. And he has no idea how much damage he's causing and how much he's pushing her further away. So what you want to do is, instead of pushing for something from her, is you want to start not needing anything from her. You don't need that hug from her if you haven't seen her for a couple weeks. You don't need to ask her how her day is. You don't need to tell her about something that's irrelevant. You really want to separate yourself and get yourself to a point where you don't need anything from her emotionally. You really have to separate yourself from needing anything from her. Another common mistake that I see a lot of men making is suddenly they start going out of their way for her, and they start being on their best behavior. They start thinking that if they make all these changes, she's going to suddenly start seeing him in a new light and want to stay in the relationship. And what we talk about a lot in my program is you can't start making all of these changes and expect her to have a certain reaction or have that tied to a certain outcome. Rather than going out of your way for her with the idea of an expected outcome, instead, you make a choice to show up in a way that's actually healthier for you and that's not attached to needing her to have a certain reaction or being tied to needing a certain outcome. Because whether you realize it or not, needing to have a certain outcome or longing for a certain reaction can actually cause you to react negatively without even realize you're doing it when that expectation isn't fulfilled. And in early stages of separation, she's very cautious of you. She's cautious of every single action that you're doing. She's constantly thinking that you have an ulterior motive or that you want something from her. And let's be real for a moment. Of course you do. You want to save the relationship. Of course you want her love back. I know that But here's the thing. I'm not the only one who knows that. She also knows that. So the thing is when you're coming to the table with different choices, it has to be because you want to make the different choices. It has to be because it's your new way of life. It's not something you're doing because you're hoping to get a certain reaction or a certain outcome from her. You've got to drop having any expectations of how your new choices that are good for you, how they're going to affect her. You've just got to live your life and make these choices because they're what's best for you. Because her thinking that you're only making those choices because you're hoping for something from her is going to keep her resisting noticing them and being open to them. What you want is you want her subconscious mind to start taking it in with absolutely no pressure and no push for any type of reaction, because that's the only way it's going to start sinking into her that these choices are for you and this is your steady, new, consistent way of showing up, whether she shows up with you or not. So that's why you don't want to have this tied to feeling like you need a certain outcome from her, and why you don't tie it to needing a certain expectation from her. Because whether you realize it or not, she's going to feel that from you. So you make these choices for yourself, not for her. And as you continue to make these choices because it's the right choice for you, she'll start softening because she'll start to realize that you're not just doing it trying to get something from her or because of the situation that you're in. Because keep in mind, guys, by the time a woman wants to separate, she's convinced herself that there's no way in hell that you're capable of showing up in a way that's going to make her feel emotionally comfortable. And I say emotionally comfortable because every single woman needs something different to change her mind about separation. Every single one of you has a map that's going someplace different, and you've got to know exactly how to read your map correctly. So guys, if you're watching this right now and you realize you don't really know how to read your map correctly and you don't know what she wants from you, I invite you to apply for my Love Communication Reset program. I'll put the link to it in the comments and in the description of the video. I really hope this video was helpful, guys. If so, definitely hit a like for me and subscribe to the channel for more videos like it. And as always, let's focus on staying happy, staying healthy, and of course, falling back in love.